Vince Vaughn. There's a nuanced aspect to Vince Vaughn's character that many overlook. While he built a career on playing characters who disrupt social events and engage in rapid-fire comedic dialogue, his true convictions run far deeper than the image Hollywood typically projects. In the year 2016, Vince Vaughn took the stage at Liberty University, recognized as the largest evangelical college in the United States, a venue not typically frequented by Hollywood personalities. Introduced by his fellow believer, Mel Gibson, Vaughn seamlessly transitioned into his address. With a warm smile, he offered words of encouragement to the graduating Christian students. The occasion was wholesome, surprising, and remarkably fitting. "He's the man of steel," someone in the audience remarked, followed by Vaughn himself saying, "Nice to be with you here today. I am Superman. Mel does not tell stories out of school, but I want to say congratulations to all of you and your families on this great day." What a great accomplishment and great place to share this experience with each other, and excited for your future. Given that Vaughn's professional reputation was forged through R-rated comedies, which students at Liberty likely avoid, his selection to speak at a Christian college might appear unconventional. However, the connection becomes clear when one considers Vaughn's departure from his typical comedic roles in the faith-based war drama Hacksaw Ridge. Directed by Mel Gibson, the film featured Vaughn as a sergeant overseeing soldiers who were driven by beliefs that transcended mere survival. The narrative centered on Desmond Doss, a conscientious objector who refused to bear arms into combat due to his profound faith. It became evident that his involvement in this project had a significant impact on Vaughn. "I think it's impossible to not hear these stories of these folks and not be moved by them and inspired," he shared. When asked about his own spirituality, he affirmed, "I am." Yeah, his experience of acting alongside such unwavering conviction, even within a fictional context, prompted Vaughn to reevaluate the true meaning of bravery. While his personal faith may not be overtly displayed, his search for spiritual truth is undeniable. Perhaps this very period of seeking is precisely where he is meant to be, finding a patient God ready to embrace him with open arms. Therefore, let us keep Vince Vaughn in our thoughts and prayers, as such humility often signifies the initial step toward profound personal growth. Now allow me to pose a question. Do you know a Christian man facing financial hardship and desiring greater prosperity? Our esteemed sponsor, Judson Morgan, is prepared to offer assistance. Judson, a Christian himself, has successfully built and divested an 8-figure company, generating over 9 figures in revenue. He is now dedicated to helping fellow Christians achieve abundance in their lives. You can discover more by tuning into his weekly podcast and clicking the link provided in our description. Moving on to the next notable individual on our list, this story takes a more somber turn, yet it powerfully illustrates that inviting divine guidance into one's life invariably leads to hope, regardless of the challenges faced. Kelsey Grammer. When Kelsey Grammer accepted the role of Pastor Chuck Smith in the film Jesus Revolution, Hollywood expressed bewilderment. This was the actor renowned for his portrayal of Fraser Crane, a master of sophisticated wit and intellectual comedy. Could he truly step away from playing a psychiatrist and embody a more grounded character? Like a guy, screw her, he quipped in a moment of comedic improvisation. So, what compelled him to participate in a faith-centered film about the spiritual awakening of hippies in 1970s California? This confusion persisted until the public became aware of Grammer's personal history. At the tender age of 13, his father was murdered. Tragically, his sister was kidnapped and subsequently killed. Furthermore, his 2 half-brothers perished in a diving accident. Compounded by his struggles with addiction and depression, Grammer had every reason to feel utterly shattered. Yet something persistently reached out to him through the overwhelming darkness. What's interesting is it's not that I went looking for it. It came and found me. Faith just keeps knocking. It just keeps knocking on the door. It keeps showing up. I was in shock at certain times that right in the middle of a sort of a revia that was, filled with grief, I would get a joyful moment of a voice, a quiet reassurance, a touch, he recalled. Consequently, revisiting his role in Jesus' revolution, it becomes abundantly clear that this part held profound personal significance. He's a man looking for his own faith and finds it as well, the film's synopsis suggests. The movie chronicles the journey of a conventional pastor who opened his church doors to societal outcasts and those on the fringes. However, if Grammer's transformation strikes you as impactful, prepare for the story of a supermodel who discovered that attractiveness and spiritual devotion are not mutually exclusive. But before we continue, a vital point. If you appreciate these insights into celebrities' spiritual journeys, please like this video and subscribe to God on the Move. Your engagement significantly aids our mission to reach more individuals. Kathy Ireland in the 1980s and 1990s, Kathy Ireland was a ubiquitous presence. Her image graced the covers of Sports Illustrated for 13 consecutive years, making her the embodiment of beauty for an entire generation. Yet the reality of achieving such fame, attractiveness and success is that it can leave one feeling profoundly empty. This was an experience Kathy Ireland underwent. She discovered that this missing element was Jesus. Her eventual connection with him is quite remarkable, stemming from her mother's thoughtful gesture. I'm a slow learner, made many mistakes over the years, got saved at 18 because my mum packed a Bible in my suitcase without telling me. She had just become a Christian, she explained. However, Kathy spent decades unaware that the seemingly ordinary gift from her mother would ultimately hold immense significance. I was such a slow learner because I was 44 before I finally read the Bible in its entirety. And it was bittersweet, she admitted. It appears that timing is not always the determining factor. Today, it is safe to say that Kathy Ireland is precisely where she was always destined to be. I mean, the most important relationship in my life is Jesus, and without that I shudder to think where I would be, she stated. There's a poignant verse in Hebrews 11:1 that reads, "Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." This sentiment perfectly encapsulates Ireland's journey, transitioning from merely believing in God to truly trusting Him. He's everything, she declared. Presently, Ireland presides over a business empire valued at $1 billion. She leverages this platform to support crisis pregnancy centers and to speak truth into a culture desperately in need of such guidance. But if you believe Ireland faced challenges balancing her public image with her faith, the next individual on our list encountered hardships 10 times more severe, nearly crushing her before she could even mount a defense. Brooke Shields. Let's acknowledge that Brooke Shields is, undeniably, one of the most beautiful women in the world. If you were to assume she isn't precisely a paragon of Christian living, you would be correct. After all, her career has been cultivated within an industry that does not prioritize devoutness. However, here's the surprising revelation. Brooke is actively striving to distance herself from that past, and this process has been ongoing for a considerable time. She recently made a statement that astonished many. "I was evidently their master plan, which is ridiculous," she commented. What master plan was she referring to? To comprehend this, one must understand the profound darkness of Brooke's past, a reality far more complex than most people realize. At the mere age of 12, Brooke Shields was already a household name. By 15, her face was recognized globally. However, this fame came at a cost that Hollywood rarely discloses. She was cast in controversial films that pushed boundaries she was too young to fully grasp, subjected to constant media scrutiny, and asked deeply inappropriate questions. Observe this segment, the commercials that a lot of people would see you as a kitten. How do you feel about all this fuss that's being made over you? You really are an exquisite-looking young lady. I know you've been told that, but is she a pretty girl? For decades thereafter, Brooke grappled with therapy, depression, and an encroaching emptiness that material success could not alleviate. The prevailing ethos seemed to be solely focused on profitability. It's all about what's going to sell. Then faith entered her life at its most critical juncture, offering something that no amount of celebrity ever could. She welcomed it with open arms. Today, Brooke leads a life of quiet withdrawal from the public eye. She has finally perceived Hollywood for what it truly is, a system that never prioritized her well-being, only her commercial value. And perhaps that is the overarching message. One can command the world's adulation and still feel profoundly adrift. Yet a single moment of genuine peace with God holds more value than an entire lifetime of fame. While Brooke discovered faith after navigating immense adversity, our next celebrated figure received his divine calling at his lowest point. The contrast between these two narratives couldn't be more stark. Anthony Hopkins. Here's a crucial insight into Hopkins. He never viewed himself as a legendary figure. He was simply trying to contend with his own internal struggles. Growing up in Wales, he felt like an outsider, a misfit. Then he discovered acting. Shakespeare provided a framework when nothing else seemed to make sense. Eventually, he rose to become one of Britain's most esteemed actors. However, behind his iconic portrayals was a man consumed by alcoholism, anxiety, and a persistent fear of being an imposter. Then came the year 1975. One morning, Hopkins awoke in an Arizona hotel room, having consumed so much alcohol that he had no recollection of how he arrived there. Then I realized I was in big trouble, because I couldn't remember anything, and I was driving a car drunk out of my skull. Then on that fatal day, I realized I needed help. So I got it, he recounted. He joined Alcoholics Anonymous, and that moment could be seen as a pivotal turning point that altered everything, though perhaps not in the way one might initially assume. During an AA meeting, a woman posed a simple yet profound question. Why don't you just trust in God? That inquiry unlocked something within him. Although Hopkins was not initially religious, he never touched alcohol again from that day forward. Today, he proudly states that he has maintained his sobriety for over 50 years. However, it's important to recognize that he found something invaluable to fill that void without compromising his integrity. I feel every day as I get older anyway, is that it's all a miracle. I mean, my heart beats, lungs breathe. That is an extraordinary phenomenon, he observed. There's a significant passage in 2 Corinthians 5:17 that states, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here." This aptly describes Hopkins's transformation. He lives as someone liberated from internal turmoil, addiction, and the incessant need for external validation. And speaking of transformed lives, we are about to discover how Hollywood's most hilarious entertainer realized that his greatest sorrow would ultimately lead him directly to Jesus. Jim Carrey. From Ace Ventura to The Mask to Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey brought laughter to millions for decades. However, in 2015, Jim's world imploded in a manner that no joke could mend when his girlfriend, Catriona White, tragically took her own life. The ensuing grief was immense, visibly etched on his face. But the ordeal intensified when her family accused him of responsibility for her death, subjecting him to a protracted legal battle that ultimately cleared his name. Nevertheless, the experience nearly destroyed him. Most individuals in such a situation would crumble, but Jim chose a different path. He turned to Jesus not through a sudden, dramatic conversion, but through a quiet, earnest quest for something larger than his pain. This journey led him to profound and unexpected wisdom. "Ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation," he stated. Here's how he arrived at that conclusion. Jim recognized he had a critical decision to make. And then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others, or we go through the gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. Jim opted for grace. He began to paint, not his usual abstract style, but images of Jesus. He was seeking to process emotions he struggled to articulate, wrestling with the profound implications of moving forward solely through the path of forgiveness. He suffered terribly and he was broken by it, to the point of doubt and a feeling of absolute abandonment, which all of you felt. And then there was a decision to be made, and the decision was to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness, he explained. Jim's narrative of choosing forgiveness over animosity perfectly transitions to our final subject, a woman who prioritized her faith over acceptance in Hollywood, even when it nearly ruined her career. Patricia Heaton. For 9 seasons, she graced the screen in Everybody Loves Raymond, earning 2 Emmy Awards and becoming known as America's favorite TV mom. Then, in 2004, she made a choice that nearly jeopardized everything when she began to openly express her pro-life convictions, and Hollywood's reaction was precisely as one might anticipate. She was ostracized. Many would have retreated, some even issuing an apology to salvage their careers. Yet, Patricia chose to stand her ground, her faith deeply rooted in an experience from her 12th year. Her mother's unexpected death underscored the profound importance of her faith. The beauty of being a Catholic is, this is not the last time I will ever see my mother. We will be together again. There's just this period where she's not here, she shared. This fundamental belief serves as the bedrock upon which everything else is built, transcending politics or activism. It is the simple yet potent conviction that death is not final and that truth holds greater significance than public approval. When Hollywood exerted pressure, Patricia responded with even greater resolve. She continued to speak out, began producing content that aligned with her values, and refused to apologize for holding beliefs that the world often dismisses. And here lies the remarkable irony. By risking her career for her convictions, she actually built something far more enduring than any television series could provide. Patricia Heaton's journey exemplifies that the greatest gamble can sometimes be remaining true to one's beliefs when the entire world urges compromise. In an industry often defined by concession, such fortitude is truly revolutionary. 7 prominent individuals, 7 distinct paths, all leading to a singular destination. From Vince Vaughn's introspective inquiries to Patricia Heaton's unwavering stance, these accounts serve as powerful testament to the fact that faith demands courage. The courage to explore as Vaughan did, to heal as Grammer did, to utilize one's influence as Ireland did, to withdraw as Shields did, to surrender as Hopkins did, to forgive as Carey did, and to stand firm as Heaton did. And here's the crucial takeaway. These stories are not solely about them, they are also about you. Therefore, we urge you to join us in sharing the truth about such remarkable courage. Please like this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might need a source of encouragement today. More importantly, we hope these narratives inspire you to take action within your own community. Because we are certain of one thing: no one is ever beyond redemption through Jesus. So, who in your life needs to hear about God's goodness from you today? That colleague facing difficulties, that family member who feels lost, that friend who believes they are beyond saving. Go and tell them, for if Hollywood's biggest stars can find their way home, anyone can. Thank you for watching, and remember, when it comes to transforming hearts, God is perpetually at work. We'll see you next time.